Do you guys have any questions or anything before we kind of get started today in the class?
Okay, I'll start with the question. So
Perfect.
for the Trivio that we learned yesterday, do we have to have that? I know it's just another phone number, since I only want to keep one number that I want to use, and
Yep.
limited messages and all that with my own account, with my own cell.
Yeah.
Do I have to be part? Do I have to get it?
No, that's an add-on option. All right. If you want to send text messages through smart plans, you have to have it. So that's the only text delivery service, but you don't need it. So you can still run smart plans that have emails, tasks, notifications. It just doesn't have a text step to the smart plan. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then what I find is actually a great option is, have you downloaded the KW Command app on your phone?
Yes.
Okay. You can see your contacts in the app, right? And from your app, you can text them and it'll give you an option of either using a Twilio number or your cell phone number. So if you text them from inside of the app, it'll actually mark it down in the command contact, and it'll put a timestamp saying like, hey, you reached out to them, right?
Okay.
So that's the way that I would do it if you want to use your own number in terms of texting contacts.
Okay, got it. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, good question. Any other guys? Any other kind of questions from other classes this week here before we kind of get into designs?
I had one question.
Yeah.
Because I missed Monday, which was the initial day.
Okay.
And I know that we came back to answers@kw.com, but I could not find the information from Monday.
Okay.
There's a step I may be missing or somewhere that I am not looking.
Is that in terms of like you're looking for the recording of the class?
Yeah, or just in general information. Or I know like yesterday I received an email like with yesterday's slides on it.
Got it. Yep.
I didn't receive one obviously from Monday because I didn't sign up, but like, I mean, if I could find it, but if I could get like the slide information, that would be great too.
Yeah. So I think Doi is either on here, or when we follow up, I'll follow up with Dave's assistant. We'll get you the link for YouTube where the class is hosted. And then on there, I'm sure they can link to the slides or get you a copy of the slides. All right. So we'll get you connected. Why don't you do me a favor, Shawnee, and put your email address in the chat and just put first session slides. And that way we'll make sure that we get those slides to you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Right, we'll go back to the chat once the class is done. Okay, awesome. Everybody ready to rock and roll around designs?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what you're here for today, right?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. Sounds good. Wanted to make sure we're on the same page. All right. So a couple of you sounded very excited about designs. That fires me up. Let's be interactive today. Like, let's talk to each other. You do not want me to sit up here and lecture. There's no bad questions, right? We're here to learn together. What are some things you're looking to learn today? So when you see a designs class on the calendar, what gets you moving to come to this class today? What are some things you're looking to learn?
Social media.
Yes.
Social media. Who said social media?
I did.
All right, Sean. So give me an example. When you say social media, you're talking about creating graphics for social media? Kind of walk me through a little bit deeper.
Exactly. So like the right things to post on Facebook or Instagram, even Twitter, you know, that are like engaging, what's going to draw a potential client to your social media page to want to find out more information about what you can offer them.
Awesome. So when you post on social media, right, you're trying to accomplish one of two things. Either you're hammering them with your brand, right? Like, you know, so that when they think of, hey, I need a realtor, they think of you, or you're offering something of great value to them, right, in return. So we're going to talk about that today. Like, what kind of social media posts can you put up there? And guess what? Inside of commands, I don't know if you guys know this or not, you can schedule all of your social media posts to go out. And then you can just focus on setting appointments, right? Meeting people. And so we're going to talk a little bit today about, moving. I want you to move your mindset, guys, right now from a salesperson mindset into a business person mindset. Okay. And what that means is like, there are some things that we can take care of in some small time blocks that'll bring you a lot of leverage the rest of the month. Okay. And one of those things is creating designs in Command, scheduling those posts to go out. And that way your social media is going while you're focused on the activities that are actually going to make you money. Okay. Good one. What else?
I'd like to learn about Canva and DocuSigns, if you cover those.
So today we're going to be working in designs in Command, right? It's a Canva product. It's very similar. So if you guys have used Canva, we have our own, right? And here's the cool thing about it. Number one, you don't have to pay for it. Number two, they're all real estate graphics. Okay. So you have like 4,000 graphics in there that are already set up for a property flyer, are already set up for postcards for you to mail. And all you have to do is customize them. Okay. So you're going to see some similarities today. Friday is DocuSign. All right. So if you want to learn about DocuSign and how to use that product, that will be the Friday's class.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Good. Give me one or two more and then we're going to get going. All right. One more and we'll get going. One more thing you're looking to learn today.
I mean, you briefly mentioned it about like scheduling our post through social media or for get through Command.
Yep.
And I played around in Command a little bit and I did see like that being an option, but like not really knowing what to do or how to do it. So that is one thing that I am looking forward to. The schedule of it as well.
All right. So we'll touch on scheduling, and then I think campaigns is tomorrow, and that goes deep into a lot of the stuff. So today we're going to work on content, right? What are we going to put out there to say? And then that way we can then ship it out from there. Okay. All right.
Awesome.
Everyone can see my screen, right? Give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Thumbs up. Okay. Everyone knows how to log into Command, right? All right. If you don't have a login yet because you're brand new to the company, just watch right today. Make some notes. You can write things down kind of step for step. All right. That's the way I kind of talk about it and explain. Now, one thing before we get into designs is on Monday's class, if you missed that, they talked about going into your settings and completing your marketing profile. Everybody remember that? Marketing profile. Okay. Now, the reason that's important is because a lot of the marketing pieces, guys, when you create like an email newsletter, as an example, it's going to pull all the information out of that marketing profile and auto-populate the email. Okay. So that is step number one. If you haven't done that yet, that is homework today that you need to do when you get off the call. All right. So here's how we get there. Ready? Click on your name, come down to settings. In settings, you're going to move over to the left-hand side over here, and you're going to look for connect settings, marketing profile. Everybody good? So click one, drop down your name. Click two is going to be settings. Okay. So click one was over here. Click two was clicking on settings here. Click three is connect settings right here. And then you're going to see your marketing profile. Looks like this. All right. So this is where you're putting in your headshot, your office logo, right? They did this on Monday, so I'm not going to go too deep on this, right? If you go to answers.kw.com and type in marketing profile, it'll give you step-by-step instructions on every little thing that you need to do here. Everybody good?
Yes.
Any questions on the marketing profile before we move on?
No.
Okay, perfect.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so the marketing profile, if we were to do Facebook, do we do our personal or do we have to open up a business, or can we do both?
It's going to be a business page is what it's going to post to.
Mhm.
Okay. And it needs to be through your personal profile. So when you connect Facebook, you're signing up through your personal profile, and then it'll say, hey, here are the pages you're an admin of, and then you're selecting your page. It's a good question.
Okay.
Yep.
I have another business outside of this, and I already have a business page with that. Is it possible to have two?
Yeah, you can connect as many business pages as you want. I have 4 different business pages for real estate. I can connect all 4 of them to Command. I can schedule posts to all 4 of them.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so let's get into designs. Okay. So over on the left-hand side over here, you see all of your applets, right? Just so you guys know, I don't know if anyone's taught you this yet. If you click the little KW symbol in the upper left-hand corner, punches out all the names. Okay, everybody see that? And then you can punch them back in, punch them out, punch them in. So once you get to know the names of the icons, right, then I bring this back in so I have more space to see. But we're gonna be looking for designs, which is the little paint easel board right here. Okay, so we're gonna open up designs. Have I lost anybody? Any questions? Okay. So here's one of the cool things is once you learn how to create some designs, guys, the first time you create designs will be the hardest it will ever be. Okay. Once you get designs set up the way you like them, let's say you create a property flyer and you're like, hey, I really like this. This has my brand, my logo, it's got my headshot in there. Realize that the next time moving forward, you can simply duplicate that first flyer that you created, change the photos, change the address, we're done. Does that make sense? So that's the way that a lot of these designs work is stick with me today. Once we create the first one as like a solid template for your business, now you can duplicate that and create multiple versions of it very quickly. Okay. Like in our offices, we had a business planning clinic. And so what you see here on my screen is the business planning clinic flyer for each of our offices. And all I did was duplicate the flyer, change the date, change the QR code, sent it out. Right. And I was able to create 6 flyers like very quickly. Okay. So what you see on my screen here is these are my designs that I've created. All right. You might see ones that you've played with before, or this may be blank right now if you've never created a design before, and that's not a problem. All right. Now up on the right-hand side up here, well, first off, I'll just show you this while we're in the screen here. You know, you're going to name your designs, right? Just like you would if you save designs in Canva as an example, and you can search for them here, or you can even filter, right? So I'm looking for a social graphic that I created, apply filters. Here comes all of my different social media graphics that I've created, right? And you can see here, I've created 244.
Oh.
Okay, so like Easter next year, I created this one for 2021. I could just go in here and either make a copy, or I could edit this and I've got my Easter post done. Now I schedule it right now today for Easter of next year. And guess what I don't have to worry about on Easter Sunday next year? Putting up a post around Easter, right? Everybody with me?
Yes.
Okay. So the next thing is going to be, how do we create these designs? Up in the top right-hand corner here, you're going to see a green button. If you don't see my cursor, it's because your Zoom screen is defaulting to the top right-hand corner where our videos are. All right. So we're looking for the green button in the upper right-hand corner that says Create Design. I'm going to click on that. It's going to give me 4 options. So let's talk through these 4 options really quickly. Email, exactly what it sounds like. Okay. There's about 200 templates in here for emails. So there's emails in here about seasonal stuff, right? There's one in here for Thanksgiving. That's one we can look at today, right? That's already pre-created for you. That just says, I'm thankful for my clients. If there's anything I can do to help you with real estate, let me know. You can go in there, basically just save it, send it to everyone in your database. Boom. And there's an email that goes out to 200 people in your database, right? Or you can create them from scratch. If you have a design mindset and you like building things and putting things together, like a MailChimp type of product, you have the ability to build your own email templates through here as well. Okay. Social is anything digital. All right. And the biggest thing I want you to think about with this is it's one-sided. Right. So if I post on Facebook or Instagram, like I can't flip the picture over, right? So all these graphics are simply a one-sided graphic, but I can find things to put in to Instagram, to Facebook. They have them all pre-sized. So either it's, you know, rectangular for Facebook or story format, rectangular for stories on Instagram or Facebook even. They're in here. We're going to look at those. Print, exactly what it sounds like. Anything that you would print out, right? Postcards, flyers. Here's a cool one you guys probably didn't know you're going to learn today. Does anyone wish they had like a full listing presentation or buyer presentation that was just like fully done for them and all they had to do was like put their name on it and then be able to go meet with a client and they look like a rock star?
Yes.
Okay, there's 9 of them in here.
Oh.
Okay. Let's take it a step further. I can print it out. I can also save it as a PDF. I could put it on my website as a digital magazine. And now all of a sudden people could go on my website and they could look through a buyer guide and click through and look at all that information. Okay. So I know I'm throwing a lot at you here. I'm just trying to paint a large picture of if you can use these designs and learn it today and just start small, you start to find all this leverage in your business by having these different collaterals, right? And then finally, video. We're not gonna spend too much time here today, but I encourage you to go play with it if you want to. This allows you to create these little like 1-minute neighborhood videos. They're already basically created, and all that's happening is you're punching in the data and the numbers. So it's like a little cartoon that plays and it would say, hi, in Rolling Hills, the average sales price is $974, right? And so you type in the data and it puts it into like a video format for you that you could share on Facebook or somewhere else, right? There's only one template. So I find some people go play with this 1 or 2 times and they're like, all right, once I create the video once, it kind of looks like the same thing over and over again and they don't use it as much. So that's why I'm just not going to spend a lot of time there today. Questions on the 4 types of content you can create in designs? All right, and I'm going to take a look on the chat as well. If you have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. All right, where do we want to start? Social? You guys want to start in social?
Yes.
I could see everyone like perked up when I said that. So we're going to start there. All right, so let's do social. So what you're going to do is you're going to highlight it. And I'm going to come back to this in a second, which is import photos and text for a listing. How cool is this? Ready? Did you know that this system is connected to the MLS? And so if you're going to host an open house for an agent, or you already have a listing that's on the market in the MLS, to create the flyer, you don't even need to upload the photos. We can suck them out of the MLS and just drop them into the flyer.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're holding another open house open for an agent in your office, you don't even have to say to them, hey, Gene, can you send me the photos? I can actually just go in here and make the flyer and pull your photos in from the MLS. Pretty cool.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so social, continue. And now it's going to take us into a new portal. Okay. And this is called WeBrand. That's the partnership that we have created with this company called WeBrand. So it takes you out of Command for a minute, right? And brings you into this design portal, which again is very similar to like a Canva product, something along those lines. All right. Now, as it loads up, what I want to show you here is there's a couple things up top. It says templates, images, my designs, and assets. What I really want you to focus on right now is images. Okay. Or sorry, assets. Yep. Sorry, right here, assets rather. Okay. Assets is you have the ability to upload images and logos. Okay. Like you see here that you can use all the time. So that you save them one time and now you can pull them in on any sort of design that you're creating. Okay. So this is a homework step. Upload your headshot here. It does pull in from your marketing profile most of the time. So if your headshot was there, it should already be here. But if it's not, go ahead and upload maybe your headshot or what it's going to be. And then you can use it on every time you create a graphic in this design studio. Okay. Yep. Was there a question there? Nadia? Nope. Okay. All right. Now this is a good place to stop here for a second, guys. And notice that these are 2 different graphics, right? Similar photos, but 2 different graphics. What are the difference in the graphics?
Background.
The background. All right, this is gonna be an important like kind of thing today, right? So what kind of photo file is this one right here? A JPEG. Okay. Meaning that the background is hard, like it's in the photo, right? So if I were to pull this into a marketing piece, like that square would show up. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
If you have a photo file that is a this one right here, right? So remove the background out of it. Okay. This is called a PNG, right? So JPEG, PNG. A lot of times when you save a file, it gives you an option. And what that does is that can eliminate the background. And I'll show you how we're going to use that, where now I can drop my head on different graphics and it doesn't have the square, right? So like I can drop my head into the front lawn if I want to. Right? I'll show you some funny things that you can kind of do with that. So some people have a picture of their full body. And so if you've ever seen a graphic of someone like leaning against a for sale sign, right? It makes it look like they're leaning against a house. Like you can take that photo, remove the background, and now move your body around to fit into that photo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So here's one of Kyle's special tips of the day. Ready? You don't learn this any other class. There's a website. I'm going to put it into the chat really quickly. And the website is remove.bg. Everybody see it there? Remove.bg. .bg. I'm gonna pull it up here so you see what it looks like. So I'll come here and I'll do remove.bg. All right, and so what it does is it removes the background of your image for no cost. All right, so check this out. So I could come in here and I could say, let's upload a photo. I just saw a picture of, all right, so this is a picture of Rick, one of my general managers at our offices. So I'm gonna upload this picture of Rick and watch what it does, right? So there's the original photo. Now it created that version without the background. Okay.
Mm.
Now I've got that version to use when I create my graphics. All right, so remove.bg is a great tool that removes the background out of your photos.
Mm.
And you guys will see this, right? When you look at a graphic and you see someone that has their logo just kind of like melts into the graphic, right? That looks a lot different and more professional than one that's got like the sharp white box that all of a sudden like doesn't melt in, right? It looks like it doesn't fit into the design. So little things like this take your marketing from amateur to more professional, right? So not a lot to learn there, but a little thing like that really moves the needle in terms of the way that this design is presented. All right, any questions on that?
No.
Good information.
Mm-hmm.
Good to keep going?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. So now we've done that with our images, and I suggest you also do that with your logos. Okay, so I went and just pulled in a logo for the sake of training today. People always ask me what's up with the B. I don't really know. There's not really a story there. All right. All right. So now what we're going to do is let's go back over to templates. Now, because I'm in leadership, I have some different templates that you guys may not have. But if we come into, these are your different categories. All right. So we have all these different categories over here. And so the first question you're going to ask yourself is, what am I trying to create? All right. So let's do a listing as an example today. Okay. So if I come over here to listings, notice that under listing, I have some subheaders: coming soon, for sale, just listed, just sold, listing presentation, right? And so you're now going, okay, what am I trying to put out there? Well, let's say we're going to do a open house. Okay. So I click on open house. Right now I'm in the open house category. And here are all the pre-created designs for open houses for me to use on my social.
Nice.
Now notice up top here, we've got social wide, social square, social stories. Okay, so social wide, where do we see graphics that are typically rectangular? What social media networks?
Instagram.
That's a
Not Instagram. Instagram's actually
That's
square. That's going to
Facebook.
be the next one. Yeah, Facebook, LinkedIn.
mm-hmm.
Okay, so those are typically like square or rectangular photos that look like this, right? Social square. This is Instagram, right? Instagram is a square format product, and so if you were going to post on Insta, so check this out, right? The same type of graphic. So let's say we have this one with the red open house square up in the left-hand corner. Notice in social wide, we have the exact same graphic, right? The same branding. So you could create it for that network and then one for Insta using the same branding, right? So that it looks congruent across all platforms. And then some of you on here could teach a class to me on this. This is not where I thrive, right? It's passed me by a little bit. But if you do stories, right, or reels on Instagram or Facebook, then they're long rectangular, right? They take up the entire screen. And so here's your graphics for that, okay? So then agents will create a graphic like this, post it to their reels or stories. On this reel or story, they can take the little finger and write, join me today, exclamation point. Right now you got a nice looking professional graphic that goes along with a little personality.
Great.
All right, so do we want to make one? Let's make one, okay? So let's go over here I'm gonna go to social wide. And let's go ahead and choose, let's go ahead and choose this one here. All right, so what you're gonna do is if you see one that you wanna open up and take a closer look at or customize, I can click use. And now it's gonna open up that graphic for me and in an editing format where now I can start to make changes. Okay, so everybody saw how I got there? I just clicked use and opened up the graphic itself. Questions? Let's take a pause here before we get into editing the graphic. Here's the cool thing. You learn it to do it one time. This works the exact same side on the print side. So like what we're doing right now, you learn how to use this tool. Like you can do everything inside of this design suite. All right. So what are some things when you look at this, when you open up the template, what are some things that we need to make edits on and make changes to?
The picture to match
The
your
picture.
actual, listing.
Perfect. All right. Anybody have an active listing right now?
No.
Okay. So I'll pull up an example, but we're going to change the photo. What else? Right? Kind
The
of everything,
date and
right? The
time,
date,
everything.
yeah, the date, the address. Notice
Mhm.
up here it says KWDBA. This is just a
Oh, yeah.
placeholder, right? It says DBA, so doing business as. That's a placeholder we can put our logo into. But remember, we changed the logo. We put our headshot in there with our contact information. Next time I hold an open house, those things are already done because I'm just going to duplicate this, right? And edit the photo and the address and the time. Boom, next one's done.
Yeah. It's so
So
easy.
once you
Wow.
edit this one, will it be in a place where you can just kind of recopy it over and
Exactly.
over again?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So back over in command, there's a duplicate button and you can just make a copy of it, edit it for open house number 2. Yep.
Gotcha.
Okay, so a couple things here. Number one is check this out. So on the left-hand side, and notice guys, like all the subjects, like the headers are on the left for everything we're doing, right? They've kind of created the
Mhm.
design, so everything's in the same spot. So now we've got images, text, logos, elements, KWLS, animation, support. All right. Under images, here's my asset. So these are the 3 that I put into that my asset section. See how they just appear? So I don't need to upload them every time. And now what I could do is, and I'll show you in a second, now I could add in my photo, right? So if I add this one in, right, there it is with the background, then I could shrink it down. I can move it over here into the corner, right? I could add a little box with my contact information. Okay, that might look good because everything in here is square, right? So it kind of fits in a little bit on that. But if I wanted to, right, this is the difference. Here's that PNG file, right? So now instead of me taking up and blocking the wood floors and all the rest of the stuff in that bottom corner, now you can kind of see through it and I kind of melt into the graphic.
Mhm.
Good.
That's neat.
Oh, cool.
You could do something silly and you could put yourself over here sitting at the bar. There's even a little blurb thing you could put like "buy me," right? So if you were if you have some character, if that's your personality, you can have fun with this a little bit, right? I don't want you to be the same agent that everybody else sees, right? You got to find a different value proposition than what everybody is. So, things like that, we laugh, but guess what? That's what someone engages on social and says that's pretty funny, right? Okay, now you're starting to bring people into your web where if it was just super stiff, right? Maybe that doesn't work for you. So think about it for your business. All right. So watch this. So if I click on KWDBA, right, and I actually click on this, no, I just moved this. Hold on, let me go back here for a second. There we go. All right, so let's say X out of here. All right, let's do this instead. So let's go over here to KWLS. So I'll show you how this works. Now, if you have a coming soon listing, if you have a new listing, maybe that's coming on the market, if it's not in the MLS, the photos and stuff are not going to be syndicating out, right? But it doesn't need to. That's kind of an easy button. Notice here under images, you can add your own photos, right? So you can bring in files from your photographer. All right. So if they send you pictures, you're just going to upload your photos in here. And now from my computer, I could grab an image, right, of a house, right? Let's say this was a house I was doing. And now all of a sudden I can just bring in that photo and make that the background of my open house graphic. Okay. So you can upload your own photos, or KWLS down here. This is the button into the MLS. So if I come into KWLS, I could search for a listing. So I could do, let's do Lake Shore. Not sure this will even work. All right. So I just made this one up basically, right? But so let's say I did Lake Shore, and let's say this was your listing, and I clicked on select, right? All the photos of that listing would come in. Okay. And now what you're able to do is if you select the photo file, now I have this button that gives me the option of replacing that image. So now I come in and say, hey, let's replace that image with this graphic right here. Ooh, super nice, right? Let's go check out that house. All right, now you see my head looks ridiculous now, right? So now also you can double click on the image itself, right? and it'll allow you to then, if there, you can like move it around a little bit if you want to, right? You can still make some adjustments here. So again, you can play around with this a little bit more than what the what initially it shows. Okay. So that's how you can add images in from other spaces. So let's try to do, I'm gonna try to find one that's a little bit smaller. So let's do, you guys get the point here, so I won't mess around with this too much. All right, so then let's replace it with this one. Those photo files might be really big. There we go, that's what I was looking to get to. Now I can pull this up. And let's just say we're gonna roll with that. Done. All right, so you can come in and change your date and stuff, right? So if you click on this, you're able to either double click it and you can actually start typing inside of it, right? So just like anything else, I could say Sunday, November, let's say the 9th. So that would be what, the 11th, 11 a.m. Now see how it kind of because it's too much text, right? Just notice that up top here, I've got all of my editing tools. So I can either make that text a little bit smaller so it fits better on that line, right? I also have the ability to pull this text box out and make it a little bit longer. Right, so everything in here is editable, right? I could change the font if I want to. Here's what I find is just kind of stick to the design, right? Like let the designers create the design, like you just put the information in and get it out. Like try to not to be like overly obsessed with the way the look of the design is. Okay, so same thing, guys, you can come down here. Even notice when we bring in stuff from the MLS, we have photos and we have listing details. So sometimes it works where like this is an address. And check this out, if I come over here, I can find the address, replace, and it actually just pulls in the address from that same data input from the MLS. It's kind of cool. Okay. Any questions on how we're editing this? Right. So I'll click on my logo and notice these are the logos that I've uploaded to my assets. And same thing, I can replace it with my KW Fairfax Gateway logo. Right. Maybe I'm going to come back in here again. I'm going to add my headshot. So let's come over here. I'll do add my headshot, shrink it down. Put it over here in the corner, right? Some people say, hey, what if I want to put in like some of my information, right? Or a graphic. So look at these over here. So you have elements, you know, you can do all these different little logos are available to you, just like in Canva. You do have some logos in here from KW if you go into Workspace. So they've got some of the KW logos ready to go for you. Text of all different sorts. So just like in Canva, some of you guys like all the different little banners and stuff that you can create with text. So same thing, like all of these things are available to you and you could be pulling these in. So I could pull in, whatever, save the date, little pig, right? I can change the text in there. I can move this little pig. So whatever, right? Lots of things in there to play with if you are trying to get super creative. All right, so that's how we edit a social graphic. Does that make sense? Any questions on this?
No, sir.
All right, last thing I'll show you up here is there's these different shapes, right? So you could, all these things are editable again. So I've had people ask, like I could pull this in, pull this down, make it a little bit smaller, right? Open this up here, right? Maybe I want to get that color to be something similar to what we're already using, but then I can also come back in and say, all right, let me add some text. And I can pull that down here, pull it over. Kyle Holleran, 410-812-4495. Right. I can even change the color, right, of the box itself. Right. So if I want that box to be a different color, I can change the color of the box. So I can come up here and say fill color is going to be red. That's on the text. All right. But again, you can kind of do all these different edits. All right. So now once you create the graphic, now up top here, you have the ability to download the graphic, right? So I could say it's a JPEG and that's going to be fine for what you're posting onto social, and you could download it, right? That's one option to do it. This is where you name it. Okay, so if I come up top here, I could write open house Lakeshore, right? Just so I know which one it is. Okay. You don't need to download it if you're going to post it from command. I'll show you how you can pull it in over there. I don't ever want you to use this share button here. Okay. What that does is it shares a link to like the editing website here. So it doesn't look good to your clients. Okay. So I always want you to download the graphic. And now that I have it downloaded to my computer, now I can go into my Facebook and I can post it, or I can go in and I can schedule it, right? And see that it downloaded right down here onto my computer. Everybody good? All right, so let's take a pause there. What questions do you have as you see me kind of going through this editing?
I have a question about the logo and in the corner.
Mhm.
How do you replacing that?
Yeah,
It's like
so
what-
first, here's a really good question, which is, where do you find your logo? Anybody have that question for your market center?
Yeah.
Saw that under logos.
Okay, so if you go to kwconnect.com, some of you have heard that website before,
Mhm.
okay? kwconnect.com. At the very top, there is a tab and it says resources. Okay, so what we're done with. So how to go find your market center logo to use. So resources, marketing, and right up top here, it's going to say logos and branding. Everybody see it? Logos and branding. Click on logos and branding, and it allows you to type in your market center name right down here. It's one of the first things, right? So it says market center, and I can type in Fairfax Gateway, market center 541, and now it allows me to download a zip file that's got every color scheme of the logo. So gray and white, black, red, PNG files, JPEG files. All right, so that's where you get your office logos. And then you're going to come back over to, into WeBrand, upload them one time, and now you have them forever and ever to use on all of your different graphics. Okay, now the way I changed it was I clicked on the graphic itself, the logo itself. And when I do that, it automatically changes it over here to the logo section, right? So I clicked on it from my assets and notice there's a replace logo button here. And so it just swaps it out. Okay.
Where do we upload it at?
Yep. So we went back to home. Remember when we uploaded our photos, our headshots, and our logos in the My Assets section before we started creating the graphic?
Mm-hmm.
I'll show you again. That's where you're uploading it to, right? And upload it one time. And now they're going to show up over here for you to use on every creation of a graphic.
Okay.
So I'll show it to you again before we leave.
On kwconnect.com, I'm trying to search my market center and it's not coming up.
Which market center are you in, Martin?
Kingstown's at 548.
Let's see. Let's see if I can help you look for it here. So logos and branding. It might be, let me see if I can figure out what the DBA. Yep. I'm gonna have to say, like, reach out to your market center leadership, see if they maybe have the file for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Martin, I have something to say. So if you go to your biography or whatever, you could, if you could scroll down, you would see the market logo. I kind of saved that as my own copy because I did have the same problem before. I don't know if that might work. I'm not sure, but you could just switch out.
Yeah. I mean, so I'm a broker in Maryland and Virginia, right? And so here's where the market center name matters, which is if it's on social, if it's on your Facebook page, if they can get to like an about page where you have Keller Williams Fairfax Gateway listed, you're compliant. Okay. So it's got to be a click away. Does everybody get that? Okay. On print materials, so a flyer or a postcard, you have to have your firm name on the flyer.
Uh-huh.
Everybody with me? So
Yes.
if I was making a flyer and I used a generic KW logo like this one right here, right? Just KW, and I didn't write somewhere else Keller Williams Fairfax Gateway, I could potentially be in violation. All right.
Mhm.
So the reason why I want you to get your market center logo is because if you use your market center logo, right, that works as the checkbox for your firm name, and I don't have to go type out my office name somewhere else.
So
Okay.
does that also apply for social, or is that literally just for like print?
That's literally for print. Social's got to be one click away. So again, if I post this on my Facebook page, someone's got to be able to click on my about page of my Facebook page and it be listed there.
Okay, so you can just have it in your bio that that's your your brokerage.
Exactly.
Okay, perfect.
Yep. Good question. All right, so I downloaded it. Any other questions? You guys good there? Okay. All right, so now let's go. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go, well, we can go back home if we want to. I'm gonna click done, okay? And what that does is that's gonna take us, I'll say save, right? That's gonna take us back over into command. So that when I click done, it actually like shuts down WeBrand, takes me back over into command. All right, now notice when I come in here, here's my new graphic right here, right? So open house Lakeshore, and if I needed to, I could click on it and it would open back up and I could continue to edit it, okay? Someone had asked about how making a copy. So let's say I did the same open house next week on this property because it didn't sell. I could either open it and just edit it, right? And change the date and time. Or I could come in and I could say, hey, let's make a copy. And it's going to create a new version of it for me, save the original version. And now I can come in here and create a new version of that graphic for my next open house. Okay. So whoever asked that question on how do you duplicate that, that's how you do it. Everybody good?
Yes.
All right, so then let's go and we're gonna do this one and I'm just gonna show you, now I wanna show you a few things in here now that you kind of see how this works. So I'm gonna go back to create design. This time I'm gonna go to print. Okay, click continue. And so I forget who asked that question there a minute ago, but remember when we come in here, here's all of our templates. This asset section is where you're uploading those logos, right? Your logos here, your images here, and then you can pull them into every graphic when you create them. Okay, so back over to templates. So what do you see as the difference here, looking at this screen compared to the one we were on a minute ago?
Got a little bit of everything, the Instagram squares, the
square rectangle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so look at your headers here and notice now we've got door hangers,
Oh,
flyers, bifold
Bifold.
brochures, trifold brochures, postcards.
oh,
All right. So let's say you wanted you were having an event and you wanted to create like door hangers and go around and hang up door hangers. Now some agents do that. Some neighborhoods don't allow it, right? You got to be very careful because if like there's a big windstorm coming and now your door hangers are all over the neighborhood, like that might work against you, right? But there are definitely times where I would use door hangers. So the idea here, guys, is you can create the file yourself and now just send it to Kinko's and they can just print it for you. Now you just have to pay for printing. You don't have to pay for design. Okay. Flyers is the obvious one. Okay. So I get a new listing or I'm holding an open house, right? And remember, I'm in the open house category. So I could come in here for sale and you're going to see a different set of flyers for sale. Okay. So if you like something like this, right? Look, different shapes and things like that, like we can open that one up. Right. All your different flyers. Okay. Some agents like to do brochures. So same thing. This would be like a bifold brochure. If you maybe had a luxury listing and you wanted to present it in a really nice fashion, same thing. You could create the brochure here and then just send it to someone for printing, right? Like your photography company, a lot of photography companies will design this for you and create it for you. They'll charge you a couple $100. So if you get good at this and you want to create your own brochures, you can. All right. And then postcards, I'd say, is the other one that agents use the most. Okay. So flyers and door hangers, I'd say, are what's used 75, 80% of the time. Okay. So remember, let's go ahead and open up a postcard really quickly. So let's say we're going to do an event and we wanted to send out a postcard. I could click use. Here are the biggest differences I want to point out. So remember, I told you social is one-sided, print is two-sided. All right. So when you come in here and you're starting to look at some of these postcards, notice down here at the bottom, you've got pages 1 and 2. All right. So if I go to number 2, now it's going to show me the back of the postcard. Okay. So that's one of the big differences you're going to see. The other thing to note here, guys, is this white box that's here is empty for a reason. What's that reason? Remember, it's a postcard.
A
for you to write a
handwritten
message.
Yeah, so either like if you want to print them out and you handwrite them out, like, you know, to Mrs. So-and-so, if you do them yourself, or if you send them to a printing company, right? And check it out. There's one inside of Command that you'll learn about tomorrow. right? Where you could actually target down to one house. You could send a postcard to that one house, right? So when you do that, that'll put the print here to Mr. and Mrs. or to the resident of 404 Dale Road. So you never put anything over the white box here, because if they label it with an address, it'll be covered. Everybody good? Okay. So again, so you can come in here and same thing we did before, right? You have the same exact tools. You have your text tools, you have your logos, your elements. Now, one thing, here's tip number 2. So first tip of the day was remove.bg. Okay, that was a big deal. Here's tip number 2. I'm going to go to my website. Okay, and if you haven't set yours up yet, like we'll help you either get that set up, or there's some good articles around it, right? Let's say 22033. Let's just do a zip code here. Okay, and let's find a property that's for sale in 22033. This is my Keller Williams website, by the way. So everyone gets this website at no cost. And let's go Sleepy Lake Drive. Okay, so I'm going to open up Sleepy Lake Drive. All right, so imagine, oh, I set up my own, oh gosh, Kyle. Hold on a second. I set up forced registration. I was testing it out, and so now my own website's not going to let me get onto my website. Hold on, Kyle, let me log in. KW.com. See if that works. Does it work? It worked. Okay. All right, so check this out. So this is a house over in Annapolis, all right? Did you guys know that when you're using Google Chrome, all right, if you right click on a website, they give you a tool that allows you to create a QR code. Anybody see that? All right, so I create a QR code. Now there is a picture, that's a graphic, okay? So now I'm gonna download that QR code. Some of you guys are going, you already understand where I'm going with this, right? I'm gonna hit download on this QR code.
How did
Okay, so
you,
now
oh, sorry.
Yeah, you're good, go ahead, Winnie. Yeah.
How did you, can you repeat how you got to the QR code?
Yeah, so I went to any website on Chrome. You can do this for anything, okay? Any website at all. You right click on the website itself and it gives you an option where it says create QR code for this page. All right, so you got to be on Google Chrome. That's a tool for Google Chrome exclusively. So if you're on Internet Explorer, you're not going to see that unless they've caught up and they've created it for you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Now, going back over here to commands, right? Let's maybe say we're going to do the front of the postcard. Okay. So remember, we can add our own images and I can upload that image, right? So I can click on, hey, upload that image that I just downloaded. There's my QR code. Now all of a sudden I can bring that QR code into and add it to my postcard or my flyer, right? For the open house, right? Drop it over here in the corner. I could add a shape. Remember I showed you how to do this just a second ago, where I add a little bit of a shape over here, and let's make it smaller. Don't like that color, so let's go like with red, apply. Let's just do it. All right, bring this down here. Right, and I could add text now. Bring it down here. I could edit that text. I could say, scan here for more photos. Change the color of the text maybe to white so it pops a little bit more. Change it to white. And then check this out, shapes. I'm pretty sure there is a arrow. Make that white. Whatever. Everybody get my point? So now all of a sudden this postcard just doesn't get thrown in the mail. Now all of a sudden it's sticky, right? Now all of a sudden there's something for somebody to do. Now they land on their website. Now they register. Now you have a lead. Does that make sense? So like
so cool.
it starts with the basics of like just learning how to create these things, and now all of a sudden on the flyer it can be scan here to sign up for a list of open houses next weekend, right? Like you have to start finding ways to get people to opt in, right? And using QR codes is a good way to do it, especially after the pandemic, because now everyone's used to scanning the menu, right? Like now people know how to do that, where it was starting to like kind of go extinct before that. So you can do all of that in designs. And then again, if I'm happy with the way this looks, quickly I could come over, again, click on this headshot. It'll pull up, the photo images of mine. I could switch it out with this photo where I want the background there. That looks cleaner. Add my information. Now I can download it, send it out to a printer, and send it out to all my clients. Okay. So that's a postcard. Hit save on that. Same thing, there was flyers in there, works the exact same way. The difference with the flyers, typically you can add like 3 or 4 images, right? So you can bring in all different types of photos, which is good. All right, let me point out a cool couple of nice things in here for you. So I told you about listing presentations. So under listings, if you click on listing presentation, right, this is going to be on the print side. Here are 5 different listing presentations that you can use, okay? Each one of them is like 30 pages long. All right, so what you can do is you can go in and look at those 30 pages and decide which ones do I want to use maybe for my listing presentation. But look how awesome this is. So let's go here to, okay, so I'll hit skip. So here's all your pages, right? So here's kind of a potential cover page, right? So custom consultation exclusively prepared for Humberto Alvarez, right? My headshot, whatever it's going to be. And if I do that one time, I can duplicate it and just change the name next time, change the photo of his house maybe, right? Go to Google Images, find someone's address, just screenshot their house, drop their house onto the front of the presentation. Now it's a personalized presentation, right? All these different ones in here about, the buying process. So, you can put in information about the neighborhood maybe, but you may not decide to use some of these guys, right? When I went through this, I was like, hey, when I take a listing presentation, like I may not have all the time to go and get all the comps and get all those things done. But like this one here is about the process, right? Here's how the buyer process works. So we're going to start with this meeting. We're then going to sign a listing agreement. Like, okay, this is a great one that I would definitely use. And so like, let's add that into my presentation. All right. And they go all the way down. And so you can go through these and look at them. You can delete some of these pages. So if you said, hey, you know what? I don't want to use this page for whatever reason, right? Strategic promotion. You can just click the 3 little dots here and delete that page, right? And say yes. And so now your presentation is now only 28 pages. And whenever you get it down to the 15 or the 18 that you like, now you can download it, print it, take it with you on a presentation, etc. All right. So that's listing presentations. The other ones are very similar types of content, just different types of design. Right. So some may be a little more luxury, like with more black, and so you go in there and look at the different designs and feel which one makes sense for my business that I want to use. Let's see, buyer. It's a good one here. So that is buyer presentation. Same thing on the buyer side. So these are 5 about the buying process. Right. And I think we have a lot of buyer opportunity right now in the market. So this would probably be the one that if I were you and I was going to decide which one am I going to spend some time on, I would go get the buyer packet together. Right. All right. So we've been talking about like transactional type stuff, right? Flyers, open houses. What if you don't have a listing? What if you don't have a buyer right now? Okay. No problem. So in here, there's all types of stuff, guys, right? Client love. So, all these different things. So thank yous, like happy home anniversary. So if you sold a house to somebody, happy birthday. If someone gave you a nice testimonial, right? Instead of sharing the Google review or the Zillow review, like just kind of take the words they said and put it in a really nice professional format, create a graphic. Now you can promote that, right? Now everyone sees all the testimonials. You can create an email signature in here. Check this out. Excuse me. Right. So if you don't have an email signature, you can create that. This one's pretty cool. My Zoom background that I typically use, I turned it off for today. Look, they have Zoom backgrounds here for that you can customize. So if you use a virtual background, like KW created some of these for us during the pandemic that we could use when we were doing buyer listing presentation on Zoom with our clients, right? Holiday is a big one. So they have all these holiday graphics in there and they're broken up by month. So I can go here to November, right? And then here comes all the different graphics for November. So I've got fall back, right? Dia de Muertos, you have Thanksgiving, Veterans Day, right? So Veterans Day is Friday, okay? You can either go create your own thing, right? Or you could come in here and you could just like say, open this up and say use. You could add some text to it if you wanted to. You could put your logo and graphic on there if you have a logo and graphic, right? So this one I would have to come in here and I'd have to change this DBA, right? I'd have to change this graphic right here. I could even just delete it, right? Now I click download, download. Now I go to my social media and I schedule this for Friday. And now all of a sudden you've got something going out on Friday and you don't need to worry about it on Friday itself. Okay.
That's great.
All right, so designs, everybody kind of understand. I mean, this is a high level view today. This is going to require you to get in there and kind of play around, right?
Yep.
Questions on creating social or print marketing?
No, not yet.
Anybody else? Anybody feel overwhelmed? That's okay too.
Yes.
Okay. So just little steps at a time, right? What I would suggest you do is just go, okay, what do I want to create like this week? Is it a social media graphic like the Veterans Day one? Just go practice the steps of going into WeBrand, grabbing it, editing it, downloading it. Just do that. Okay. And then the next time you go in there, all of a sudden those steps are down and now you feel comfortable adding a photo, right? Changing a graphic. Like start small. And here's the other thing too, I'm going to suggest you do, like, go try to repeat some of these steps today after you just watch the class. Because if you walk away from this until next week, you're gonna be like, all right, I don't even know how to do this again, right? So if you're gonna invest your time here, let's find the one little step that we're gonna take to make your business a little bit better. All right, so let's go. I'm just gonna go back to KW here. So let me go back to command. And so now in designs, right, when I come back in here, you know, there's my listing presentation that I created, right? There's my for sale with the little thumbnail with my QR code I created. There's my Veterans Day.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's try to tie some of this like social together just a little bit. You guys will go in this again tomorrow, but one of the other applets is campaigns. Everybody see it?
Kyle, I have a quick question for you.
Hey, Janelle. Yeah.
I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. So when we're in the design portion of the website and we click the download, it automatically downloads to our command website.
It automatically saves to command to reopen. It also when you click download, it's actually downloading the file onto your computer.
Got it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. Good question. So it's saved here and I can reopen it up, but it's also, if you can see my screen, I think I'm sharing my full screen. Can you see the downloads here at the bottom? Yep.
Yes.
So if I were going to send that to, so like if I was having an open house on tomorrow, my only option to get flyers printed would be to go to a local store to get them printed. Right. But I could make the file, I could send it to Staples right now and they would print me 50 copies of that in an hour and I could go pick it up. So if I download that file, I now have it to send it to them. All right. So again, if you're not doing a lot of social right now or this step is not needed, I think this creates motivation, this next step on why learning designs is an important piece. So if I go into campaigns, which is a different applet you guys will talk about tomorrow, you can do paid Facebook ads. That's not what we're talking about, right? What we're talking about is there's another section called social posts. And this is where you can actually come in and schedule social media to be held in a hopper and posted at the time and date in which you are asking for that social media to be posted for you. So I'm going to click create campaign, social post. And so check this out. So this is my business page, right? So I could say reconnect. All right, here's all my different business pages. So for this one, let's say it's going to be on Holler and Real Estate. All right. And so check it out here. So it says, you know, starting to show me a preview of what this is going to look like. What is your post about? But it gives me the option of adding media. And if I click on add media, notice it says browse files. So I could upload something in there if I had something from outside of command, or I could upload the file I created, or browse designs, right? So this can go into that saved library of those designs we just created. Veterans Day. And now it sucks it into the system, right? So now it brings in that Veterans Day graphic. I could type up here, right? Once it comes loading in, right? I could say, yep, that looks good. Let's crop that image. I could write up here, thankful to all those who serve, right? Happy Veterans Day, you know, or in remembrance today, right? Holler in Real Estate Group, whatever, okay? Now, that post goes up. I can come down here and it says, do you want to schedule the post or publish it immediately? And I'm going to come in here and say, let's go ahead and schedule it for Friday at, I can say 8:02 a.m. Schedule post. Schedule post. Now Friday, right? You're having a meeting, you're doing your lead generation, you're doing these different things, and your social goes out. Okay, I can also do that one time and send it to both Insta and Facebook. And they're in the middle of integrating TikTok right now as well. So depending on what channels you use, like you could create one post and it could go out to all 3 or 4 social media networks at the same time. Is that kind of cool?
Yes.
All needs to be connected with your Facebook business page, not your
Facebook.
personal.
Correct, your Facebook business page, yep. So then up here, you can see like your week view and you can see what you have scheduled. But you can also come in here and you can say, I want to see a month view, right? And now you can start to see where all of these things are kind of set up in a hopper ready to go out. So this is where I was saying is, to me, if you have a time block or you have some time, go work on your holiday graphics, right? Test it out on those, like go learn how to create those and customize them, save them, come schedule them, right? And get them in place for Christmas and New Year's and all the holidays that you want to recognize, right? That your family celebrates, that you want to promote to your clients. Like go do them, set them up in the hopper for next year. Now you don't have to worry about it. Now all that's taken care of, right? Now all of a sudden you go add in a post a week about something generic, right? Did you know buying versus renting helps you grow your wealth, right? Blah, 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 like things like that. Schedule them. They're not time sensitive. Now all of a sudden you have 2 posts a week that are set up. Now all of a sudden you're communicating 8 or 9 times on social a month, where right now you're not doing anything. Everybody with me?
Yes.
So it's just a little bit of a, it's a little bit of a strategy, but that content is there. And here's the other thing. Some people asked about content creation when we started the class. Here's the reality, guys, which is there are 1.5 million other realtors out there in this country. All right. So what I suggest you go do is go look at their pages, right? Go look up top agents in states across the country and just go watch their Facebook pages and see what they're posting about, see what type of content they put up where you're like, oh, that's really good, right? There's nothing wrong with like not plagiarizing. That's not what I'm saying. But if they have a featured house of the month, here's the highest sale in all of Colorado Springs, you may say to yourself, hey, would that get some engagement if I put up on my page like highest priced home in Richmond, Virginia, highest sold home in Richmond, Virginia this month? Hey, that might get some interaction. So if you're not thinking about, or you're stuck on what am I posting, go look at all these other pages and get some, get some influence so you can create a social strategy. Okay. And listen, if you have that, now all of a sudden when you're out at the house and you see something funny, right? Like a scary Halloween, kind of, decoration when you're showing a house, like that's the relatable stuff of real estate, where now you get to post that and you get to go like showing houses today, and this scared the living daylights out of me, right? So now all of a sudden your database, you're talking real estate, but you're not being super sales aggressive, right? Who do you know looking to buy or sell? Like, yeah, there's a time and a place for that. There's also a nice time and a place for people to know like, hey, Jean works in real estate because I see her posting all this content. I have a real estate question. I think I'm going to ask her the question. Right. So there's a smart way to kind of create an energy around your database. Questions? Comments?
We need this class again.
Yep. Well, I'm recording it, so we'll post it. And here's the deal, like open it up in YouTube, just pause it, right? Work on whatever we talked about for that 5 or 10 minutes, hit play, watch another 5 minutes, go back and play with it a little bit, right? I mean, the point of these things are, and again, guys, I work with a lot of agents. And so here's the difference, which would be take action, right? Like, unfortunately, I know 70% of you are going to get off this call and not do anything with designs. Next
I have a
question.
question.
Yes.
Would you be able to teach us how to make the Facebook page?
Yeah, and there's like, go to YouTube and just type in create a Facebook business page, right? There are people that they have videos up there that are already teaching you how to do that, right? If it's not specific to like the Keller environment, you know, it's not necessarily like where we put our focus because no one else teaches this tool. And so we want to be teaching you like the Keller product. But yeah, go to YouTube and just type in create a business page. And there are 5-minute videos there that'll teach you how to click for click, go into Facebook, create that business page.
So I have a question.
Yep.
So I already linked my Facebook page to
Somehow.
Oh, Shawnee, go ahead and unmute yourself real quick. I just clicked the wrong button.
sorry.
Yep.
Instagram is giving me a little bit of an issue. It's asking for Facebook's information, which I already linked.
Okay. So if you, and this is something you guys will actually go over tomorrow, there is no connection to Instagram in settings, and it's because Facebook owns Instagram. Okay. So what you need to do is you need to go into your Facebook, or sorry, your Instagram settings, right? If you go into your Instagram account and go into your settings, there's a section there where it says link to Facebook. You link it to your Facebook. Now Instagram works within commands because now that highway has been created. Okay?
Gotcha.
So if I come in here and do a social ad, notice I can click on Instagram right here. That's not because I've connected Instagram. It's simply because my Instagram is connected to the Facebook account that's connected.
Okay.
Okay, good question.
Kyle, when we go into YouTube to pull up this session, what are we looking under? Just your name, or are we looking under?
Let's go find the regional Facebook page. So YouTube, let's do
Oh, okay, so it's the regional Facebook. I mean, regional YouTube.
Yep, so here it is. I got it for you. All right, so. All right, so I'm going to copy this. All right. I'm going to put it in the chat. Go ahead and click on that link right now and open the YouTube channel. And I suggest like favoriting it or something. All right. Or keep it open. So I know that yesterday, right, they put up the one that was contacts and commands. That might have been Tuesday's session. So here's Monday's session. There's Tuesday. So they'll upload probably, you know, Wednesdays today. So as soon as we're done today, it's up to the cloud and it'll be listed right here. Okay. So you should see it, be the first one, and it should say jumpstart into command, or you'll see my face on the screen. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What else are you thinking about? Talk to me. I'm here to help. All right. No questions. This is the last thing we're going to do. And then I don't want everyone to feel like they're going to fall over. So I'm going to point this in this your direction so that if you're here and wanted to learn about this today, we're going to hit it really quickly, which would be, we're going to go back to designs really fast. The one that we hadn't clicked on yet was email. Okay. So I want to make sure I'm very passionate about this, guys. There's a direct correlation. I oversee 1,400 agents. There's a direct correlation between the amount of contacts in your database and the amount of money you make in this business. It is what it is. Okay. So like feeding your database every single day or adding people to it is really important. And then communicating with it, obviously, is the next step. If they're in your database, they don't know it, doesn't help you. So inside of command, if you come into designs, we're going to skip social and print. We're going to click on email. This opens up a list of, there's actually 72, you can see them right here, right? 72 email templates that KW has created for you. All right. These work the exact same way. You can either use exactly what they've written for you, or you can start with a design that you like and you can edit every single thing and delete out sections. You can do whatever you want. All right. So these are just templates, but they range from, Happy New Year, protecting your credit. So if you wanted to send out a blast to everybody on protecting your credit, you could do that. If you wanted to send out a newsletter, they have some newsletter templates with like 3 subsections, right, that you can put together and send out. So here's what's going on in November in Fairfax County. Here's the house of the month. Here's my outlook for next year. Boom, you have a newsletter. All right, if you come down, load more. So all different types of stuff in here. So here's one for Thanksgiving. All right, so I could open this up and I'll say next. And so here is the template, right, for the Thanksgiving postcard. So dear contact first name, as I sit back and reflect on all I have to be thankful for, this is such a special time of year. I'm so thankful for you, contact first name. And don't forget, should you need anything at all, real estate related or otherwise, don't hesitate to give me a call. Happy Thanksgiving.
So question, is command automatically like input in the name based off of the contact?
You got it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay. So there are data tags in here and they know what the first name of the contact is, right? So I could send this out to 150 people in my database. Hey, Shawnee. Hey, Janelle. Hey, Morgan. Right? It'll pull everyone's name out of their contact record and make it a personal email to that person. Okay. Market center name, my logo, my name. Where is all this being pulled from? Marketing profile, right? Remember we started there today and I said, that's why it's so important. So this, you don't need to do all this. Right up here, there's a little eyeball that's a preview button. And now I can see what that email is going to look like when it's sent out. Right. So now I pulled in my headshot, my license number, my contact info, my logo. Right. And now all of a sudden this would look like, right? Dear Kyle Holleran, blah, 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 blah. Okay. If I didn't like the text, I could delete the text. If I didn't like a couple of these paragraphs, I can change the paragraphs, right? So everything in here is editable and I could delete something. If you created a little video, if any of you guys like doing video and you just said, hey, everybody, just want to wish you a very happy Thanksgiving. Just wanted to share with you next year, my goal is to help 24 families buy or sell a house. If you created that video, you could actually bring over a little video widget here and maybe embed that at the end of here, right? And now all of a sudden, now I can put in the link to my YouTube video that I just created. And now people can watch my video in the email that I just sent out. Kind of cool. Okay.
How did you put the video on there?
Yeah, so there's these little widgets over here. Okay, so you see it says content, text, image, button,
Okay, video
legal
at the
header.
bottom. I got it.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Event block. Check this one out. This one's already kind of pre-created for you. You could add an image, right? So a holiday party, put your date and time, event title, sign up. And this can link to the sign up on your Eventbrite for your party. Boom, already created for you. And then here's the cool thing. This is where you start to become really like a business person. If I sent this out to 150 people, would it be good to know which ones of them opened my email? Would it be even better if I knew which ones clicked on the link and took the next step? Awesome. Just go right over to your reports in Command and you can see every single person who opened this email. I can see every single person who clicked on it. And out of 150, if I know 40 of them did, guess who's getting Christmas cards this year? Those 40. Everybody with me?
That's so cool.
Okay, so just listen, like you got to take this mindset of, yes, you're a salesperson and then we're in the business of real estate, but like you need to think like a business person and kind of create this web of how are we getting people to kind of come in, all right? This link right here could be the new listing, right, that I have. Here's a copy of the link, right, that I just pulled from my website. And so it could be, you know, view, and I come in here and I edit and I say, okay, I want to link to a web address. Here's the web address I want to link to, right? I can change the words. I could see, I could say, see photos. Right, click done. right? And now I highlight that listing. When I send this out, now I can see every single one of my clients that clicked on the see photos button. So 150 got it, 71 of them opened it, 31 of them clicked on the button. Okay, now I'm moving people down a lead funnel who I know is reading my stuff. And those that aren't, I'm not going to spend a lot of energy. I'll keep sending them my newsletter. Maybe they come back around again, but I've got to focus in on those that are kind of entering into my web. All right, so email newsletters, that's how that works. Super simple. I'll let you process for a second. Any questions on email newsletters? Not just newsletters, designs.
Sorry, my video, can you hear me?
I can.
I'm confusing myself, sorry. Is this session gonna be emailed like the rest of them?
Yes, it will be. Yep.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Now here's the deal. I don't do slides. Like I'm just not a slides guy. It distracts us, right? Like I just like to go in and show the tool so you guys get value out of it. So they might send you the slide deck. I'm not even sure what the slides say. David probably wouldn't want me to say that. You'll get the video. You'll get the video recording, and I'm sure the slides follow fairly closely to what we're teaching here.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Lilia, did you have a question?
Yeah, how do you know, what do you look for the reports from the emails?
Good question. So first go to campaigns class tomorrow, because they're going to show you then how we send that email out to everybody. Okay. Once you do that though, if you go to reports, another one of our little applets over here, right above designs, actually, going to go into that reports tab. You can come over here to email. Okay. And then you can see by month. So right now I'm in November, and I haven't sent out any emails in November, but if I went backwards, let's say September. Okay, so like this is my training link. So I can see that I delivered 2 emails, right? 2 people opened it, 1 person clicked on it. And if you click view details, it'll tell you like who is the person. So Cheryl Smith opened my campaign. Does that make sense? So she clicked on the button. I know she did. And then 2 people, Cheryl and somebody else, clicked on, Cheryl and JC both clicked on and opened my email and read it. Okay. Same thing if you have bad emails, they'll come back and they'll tell you like that was undelivered, right? They didn't even get to the person's inbox, got kicked back. So you can do it by month, and then you can actually drill down as to like your applet or your campaign. So when you name the campaign or name the email, that's why that's important, because this is how I know exactly what email it is that Cheryl opened up. All right, I have my website open, so I'm going to show you this really quickly. Remember, I said this earlier. So the buyer guide, right? We talked about that buyer guide that you can create in Command. There's a free tool. Tip number 3 of the day. It's called flipsnack.com. Ever see it down here in the bottom corner? It says Flipsnack. It's a ridiculous name. Okay. What it does is it allows you to create digital magazines with your PDFs. All right, so what I did was I created my buyer guide in Command Designs. I went to Flipsnack and I uploaded those 15 pages, and it gave me a code that I was able to embed in my website. And so now people can come to my website and they can start looking through my magazine.
That's really neat.
I don't know if you guys can hear it. It actually sounds like pages are flipping too. Swoosh, swoosh. All right, so like just little tools like that. So if you can get the design element down, right, come back to the next session of this class when we teach it again, and like we'll help you take it to the next level of, okay, we created a great buyer guide. How do we get more people to see that? And hosting it on your website could be a great way. So on your newsletter, you could have on your newsletter, buyer guide, click here. And you take them to this website right here, right? And they're able to look through this buyer guide, and now you know who clicked on that button that wanted to go read the buyer guide. Okay. All right, so I don't want anybody to fall over. So we're going to take a pause here. That's majority of the content I wanted to cover today. All right, so we're about 10:20.
Question for you, Kyle.
Yes.
I don't know if this related to your education today, but so I'm trying to figure this out. I do have a MacBook and everything, and I use iCloud, but I wanted to use my Keller Williams email throughout my whole entire gadget, like adding it to my phone, my iPad.
Yep.
But doesn't configure it. The emails doesn't go in through. And I don't, it's basically an empty email whenever I look at it, whenever I check it through my phone or even to my computer, actually. So I just use my own personal email. I can't figure that out, how to,
Gotcha. So are you trying to forward emails to your KW email address?
Well, I'd like to use my KW address as my new emails now, but it doesn't, I can't, it's just empty. Like it doesn't read.
Gotcha. So your KW account is a Gmail account. So like on your phone, if you go in and say, I want to add an email account, you'll click Google, log in with your KW stuff, and then it'll add it to your phone. And then you can make it the default account. So anytime you write an email, it's coming from that default email.
Oh, okay. So
right. And then people will start responding back to that email, and then your email box, I assume, will then fill up.
Okay. Thank you so much. I didn't know it. Google.
No problem. What else, guys? All right, how about you give me an action step then? Give me like 2 or 3 action steps, and then we'll go ahead and call it a day. What is something you're going to do based on what you learned today?
Design.
Okay, Shawnee, which one are you going to specifically go in and work on?
Holiday designs, specifically ones that are coming up like Veterans Day and Thanksgiving.
Awesome. That's specific. Go get it done, all right?
Right.
What else?
2 things that I think I'll be working on the emails, and definitely posting regularly, at least once a month on Facebook, something regarding the holidays or something.
Yeah, think about it, guys. If you looked at a restaurant on Facebook and the last time they posted was in July, how are you feeling about that restaurant?
What's going on there?
Yeah, like, are they open? Right?
Yeah.
Like, what is going on? So, like, think about it. When someone hears your name or someone, like refers you, what is the first thing that someone goes and does when someone refers your name out to them?
They look you up.
They Google you, right? They're going to find your Facebook page. They're going to look at it, and they're going to make a decision right there whether or not this person is a pro or they're an amateur. Right? So, Humberto, I'm going to challenge you and say once a week you need to post. Okay. Like, and think about it, guys. There's 52 weeks in the year. You could sit down and write on a piece of loose leaf right now, 1 through 52, and start looking at other agents' pages and coming up with content and ideas and filling in 52 ideas. And now that part of your business is set and ready to rock and roll for next year, right? And you schedule them and you're done with it. And now you got to post a week, and you don't have to think about it week by week. Good. What else?
I'm going to schedule posts today.
Awesome.
Yes.
Work on the
Arlene, do you have
buyers.
one there?
Work on
Arnie,
the
go ahead.
work on the home buyers guide.
Okay, that's a good one. Go work on those guides. Yep.
I'm going to design some cards and things.
Okay. And just think about your strategy, right? Be careful. Like, one of the challenges of real estate is you hear all these different ideas and all of a sudden your brain starts exploding, and all of a sudden now you're trying to do 14 different things, right? You got to absorb a little bit and go, okay, I'm going to pick 3 things I'm going to do next year. Okay. Because postcards is a great example of that. How do you open your mail? Someone tell me how they open their mail on a daily basis.
Not every day.
Here's what I do. I grab my mail. I thumb through it. I look for like white envelopes that look like bills or my mom sent me a thank you card. And then the rest of it goes in my recycling bin before I even walk in my door.
Yep.
Everybody else do that?
Yes.
Okay. So like, if you're going to go, hey, I'm going to send out postcards and they're just getting thrown in the trash can, right? Like, that's a waste of money and resources, right? Now, if you had something that was, so if it was, hey, I'm a realtor and I can help you, that's going in the trash can. If it was, here are the 4 homes that have sold in Rolling Hills this quarter, now all of a sudden someone's going, oh, let me look at that. Oh, I know, that's the Smith's house down the street, right? That sold for $525. Are you joking me? oh, now a QR code to scan to look at upcoming listings that are coming up in Rolling Hills. Okay, that's a strategy that can work. The postcard by itself does not, right? Like I moved up from Richmond, Virginia to Arlington when I took over in the Fairfax office several years ago. And when I lived in Boston, I would get the mail every day and I'd have like 9 postcards from realtors every day. Like they all just went into the trash can, right? And so just make sure that you're really thinking through what is the message that you're sending. Same thing with email, okay? It's the same thought process. How many of you just go in and hit delete all on your newsletter spam emails from all the companies that you get? Anybody just go in and just never look at them? Okay, so do you want to be that person? Or would you rather come up with,
attention.
yeah, like, are you going to come up with something creative that gets people to actually like click on it and open it?
How do you create the link with the upcoming listings? I mean, for your business, for the card that you're going to be sending to?
Yeah, so you can either, so one, it's kind of a lead funnel, right? Which is if you want a list of coming soon properties, click here, enter your information. Now you could set that up on your MLS potentially, okay? Or, you know, coming soons don't schedule out the same way that others do. Let me pull back up my website here. It's just not it. Let me go back to my website here. Check this one out though. You can come in. Lilia, where are you from? What area?
Alexandria, Fort Hunt area.
All right, so I could come in here and I could say, let's do Fort Hunt. I think that should come up, Fort Hunt, Virginia. Okay, so I typed in Fort Hunt and this is the boundaries that it found for Fort Hunt, okay? All right, now in here, I see a bunch of properties, looks like that are for sale. Check this out. One of my filters in my website is open house. So I can turn on the open house. Now, notice there's only 2 right now because we're Wednesday, and I bet you by like Thursday, you start to see more, okay? But it doesn't matter. All I did was do a search for Fort Hunt upcoming open houses. I turned that on. This link right here now is where you take people to, and you could put out marketing that says, are you looking for a list of upcoming houses in Fort Hunt? Click here. And you just draw them here, right? So it's all you're doing is you're doing the search for them, copying and using that URL. I can use that URL next year over and over and over again, and it's simply going to do the search and find the most current listings that fit that criteria. So if I post that today, someone clicks on it on Friday, they're probably going to see 12 open houses, right? So that's how you can do it, right? Use your website and you can do these different searches. You could do.
Again, you're posting that on your business I mean, like not on your website, on your business Facebook page, maybe?
Yeah.
Can you do that? Or
yeah, like why wouldn't you post today and just say, you know, are you planning on going to look at open houses this week? Comment below and I'll send you a list of upcoming open houses. Right now, check that out. Now, all of a sudden, someone says Fort Hunt, boom, you go create this link and post it right below their comment. Right? Lilia says, I'm looking in Fair Oaks. All right, cool. Let's come over here and do a different search. Fair Oaks, post it underneath there. And now everyone has like a little custom web page. But the goal is now they're on my website, right? And as they click on the photo here and they go, oh, I like this picture. I like this. Let me ask my agent a question. Let me send them something, right? Whenever they click on any of these buttons now, it captures that lead. And now you get a notification of, hey, there's a new lead in your system, right? So that's the point. We're trying to get people to our website to register lead capture. Right? The most fatal error that people make is going and finding your listing on Zillow and posting the Zillow link. Why should you never do that?
Because it can be older information that is not updated.
It goes to the Zillow agent.
It goes.
There are competitors.
Yeah, I'm literally dropping them. Lakeisha, I feel like you had the answer there. I feel like you were going to tell me. You were like, it's like dropping them in the shark waters, right? Like, why would you put them in a place where all these agents are paying a lot of money to try to gather leads? I don't want them there, right? I want them in my backyard, in my fenced location. That's my website. Okay. So that's why I'm driving everybody back to my website, because they can't get to another agent through my site, but they can through realtor.com, through Zillow, right? And all of a sudden they click a button. Now they've got an agent calling them. Hi, this is Kyle Holland with Keller Williams. Are you looking to buy a house? Right. And I'm going to try to steal your client. Okay, that's why.
your website is directly connected with your commands, and your marketing settings has to be perfectly done for your website to look fine.
Yes, correct. And it's directly connected to command. So if someone came in here, let's say you put up that post saying open houses in Fort Hunt, someone shared it with their friend who they know is looking. That friend then clicks a button. You now get on your phone, if you have the command app downloaded, it'll pop up and it would say new lead notification, right? Andrea Bolina has registered on your website. Boom, like that's what we're trying to do, right? That's the end goal. Because now I'm calling Andrea and going, hey, I saw you registered on my website. What are you looking for in Fort Hunt? I might know of some coming soon properties that aren't publicly marketed. And she goes, oh, that's great. That's something that I don't know, right? So I always want you to think like, I'm trying to always come up with ideas and what can I offer to them that they can't find on the internet just very easily? Because if they can find it on the internet very easily, why would they need you? So you need hooks, right? You need ways in which you're drawing them in through, hey, I'm in a large KW office. We often get listings in Fort Hunt, and then sometimes I know about them before they're on the market. Let's meet and have a cup of coffee and talk about your home purchase and your budget and those types of things. Boom, now I'm closing for the appointment, okay? So it's the design, is drawing them to the website, to the lead capture, to the appointment, to get a deal, to make money. Some of you may say, hey, screw all of this. Someone's going to call 10 people a day and ask them about the coffee and skip the first 4 steps. Fine, right? Everyone's business is different. And that's the cool thing about this business. But that's how you can use the tools that are available to you. All right, some of you either hate me or love me right now. Yeah, Janelle.
I have a question. How do you get to your personal website through command?
Good question. Let me get back over to my site. This has changed. I haven't done it in a while, so I'm going to take you in the right spot, hopefully. Last applet down here, Janelle, is consumer. Click on consumer. And if you have a site right here, this should be like your link. If you set it up or Scott Loren Marketing set it up for you, this should be the actual name of your site right now. If you need to make any edits on that, I think you go right here to configure your site and you say, I want to use the KW agent site. And this walks you through a setup process to create your website. Okay. All right. Agent.kw.com or answers.kw.com, type in agent site, and same thing, you'll get an article that'll walk you through like the whole setup process. Okay. Question.
Thank you so much for all the information.
You are very welcome. Anything else you guys can think of here before we jump off? 10:30.
I have a
think everything
question.
is just playing around with it.
That's it. Just go, yeah, that's it. Go play with it. That is a big part of this is when this stuff came out, guys, when the mobile app came out, I just laid on my couch while I was watching the Orioles game and I played with it and learned it, right? Because now when I meet with a client inside of an open house, I can then say, hey, this is why you should use this app versus Zillow, right? If you don't know how to use the tools, it's really hard to get your client to use the tools. So 100%, some of this is just, you can't break anything. I promise you. Put yourself in as a dummy client. Like I sent my wife 40 emails when I was trying all this stuff out before I ever sent it to a client. You know, and I was like, Elise, can you give me your phone and can I look at how that email came through? Okay, that looks terrible. Let me go back and try to figure that out, right? But that's what it takes, right? And then you get confidence when it does come through and it looks good. You're like, okay, now let's send this to 150 people. And then here's the cool thing. 20 people respond back to you and say, hey, Janelle, it's awesome to hear you're in real estate. Like I am looking to buy a house maybe in the coming years. And you're like, damn, this actually works, right? So it's like, you got to take that first step though. You have to.
I have a question.
Yes.
With the agent websites, every time I've been trying to use it and update it, it doesn't update. Is that something that we should like submit a ticket for, or what's your suggestion? It never updates when I save it and do everything.
So one thing I want you to try to do is when you come into consumer here, All right, this is a step that some people just miss. So I'll just try this first because it seems to be a common thing. If you come into consumer, right, site and app settings right up top here, Whitney.
Uh-huh.
Is your toggle, is it on? Is it green or is it white?
It's green.
Okay. Try to toggle it off and just toggle it back on.
Okay.
All right. And sometimes that pushes information that you created like over to the website.
Okay. I'll give
Okay.
that a shot.
I
Thank
also
you.
know that like KW has been working on like an update to the websites as well to make them like lead generation machines, which is a very welcome thing for all of us. So like
Mhm.
Whitney, there sometimes are days where like, you know, if they're fixing something, we see a delay like for a day or so. All right. But which office are you in, Whitney?
Keller Williams, Coastal Virginia.
All right. You're down with Cosette down there. Yeah. So
Yep.
get with, you know, get with your MCTT down there. Like he definitely is as good as I am on this type of stuff.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep, for sure.
What about that registration of the property limits that you can see?
Yeah. You see that?
And right now it's unrestricted. What are you gonna suggest? 2 properties? Okay.
So
I
that's
guess
what I had done. And like you saw, it locked me out, right? So I couldn't see anything until I filled out the form. So you got to decide, because how much does Zillow charge for you to look at properties? Do you have to register and look at homes?
$29 or something like that.
But like, do you have to, if you're looking at homes on realtor.com, do you get blocked or can you look at as many homes as you want?
Good question.
It's business strategy. Like they don't block you. They just let you look, right? You know, I might do 10 properties and say like, hey, you can look at a bunch of properties, but like once you hit 10, like I'm trying to get you to put in your name and email. And if you've already clicked on 10, that means you're telling me you might want to click on 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, right? If you click on one and go look at another one and then I block you, are you just going to go to realtor.com? Like, right? Have you been on the site looking at it enough to want to register? So to me, I might put it at 10, but I do want to have registration at some point though, because I do want to capture leads. It doesn't do me any good to have 50 people on my website surfing around. I never know who they are and I never get any business from it. Like I'd rather try to capture 5 of their information by restricting how many sites they can look at. So it's different for everybody. That's why you have options there. Humberto, I know you had a question and we skipped a couple times. Go ahead.
Yes, I think that sending an email to your wife is a great advice. I'm gonna send people that I trust that say, hey, tell me what you think about this email. Tell me what you think about this newsletter. Tell me what you think about this, and we'll move forward.
Yep.
Thank you very much. That was powerful.
You're welcome. Same thing with my sisters and brothers, right? Like they all were like, all right, dude, how many more emails you gonna send? I'm like, hey, did it go to your spam folder? Yes or no? Just answering the family group text message. Like I hijacked for like 2 days. So just do it, right? You need their support. Yep. You need their support. So just, you know, just run it by them. Anything else? All right, guys.
You can add your picture and on your website, or you cannot.
Yep, that's all going to come through the marketing profile and settings. So that's why you have to make sure all that stuff is in there. Okay, and then make sure that toggle is turned on. Okay, also, this may not help, but some people just don't know this. I found this to be incredibly helpful. If you chat with support, okay, so that there's a chat in here with people from KWRI. They always don't have the answer, right? However, you know, if I'm having trouble with my website or something like that, right, you can come in here and say, hey, I want to get on a live chat and choose your topic, right? So agent sites and say, hey, it's not updating. And just sometimes they can look at the back stuff and see if there's something that's like stopping it from going through or make a suggestion to you, okay? So just you use some of these tools. And then if you can't figure it out, you know, then you can go to your local people that might be able to give you some assistance as well.
Change my font.
All right, guys, everyone have a great week. Thanks for spending some time with me.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
I'll talk to you all soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye.